When you were a kid, you were like, I want to be a fitness influencer when I grow up? Is that what
No,
happened? That's not what happened?
no. When I was a young kid, I wanted to be a baseball player, and I
A
loved
baseball
baseball.
influencer. Gotcha.
Remember my mom, she did a really good thing when I was a kid. We didn't have much money at all growing up. We really struggled with that. And remember I wanted a new baseball glove because my glove was super old and tattered. And like there was one time I was even in a game and the ball literally like went through one of the holes in the glove. Like it, like, like you have some gloves that have like four boxes in it, and as the glove gets older and older and older, sometimes the ball will literally go through one of those holes, and that's what it did. I was like, I need a new glove. And I remember I asked my mom, I was like, I want to get a really nice like leather glove. And she was like, I'll tell you what, if you get into the major leagues, I'll get you that new glove. And I was like, promise? And she was like, promise. And looking back, I was like, oh, that was so smart.
And that kid grew up to be Ken Griffey Jr.
And then
No, not that. No.
and then that was it. And then I wanted to do baseball, and then I wanted to be a professional wrestler. And then I realized there is no such thing as professional Olympic wrestling. It's just Olympic wrestling. And then right about when I was maybe 16, 17, and I was really into strength training and getting into powerlifting, I was like, I want to be a professional powerlifter. And then after doing that for a number of years, I was like,
Well.
there's no money in powerlifting. And then that's when I was like, I'm just going to go full in on the fitness business.
Okay, nice. Have you ever considered doing like the Lemmy? You know the Lemmy?
What's a Lemmy?
You know Motorhead? Have you ever heard of Motorhead? The band?
No. Oh, the band. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the Lemmy?
So the Lemmy is like you get rid of this and you just have the mustache that goes into the sideburns like that.
Oh, okay. Have you done that?
I have done that, yeah. And I actually dressed up as Lemmy for Halloween one year. Nobody knew who I was. They thought I was just like a creepy weird guy. They
Yeah.
weren't wrong. You ever think about doing that next time? It is November right now, as they call it up here.
Maybe I'll do that for a video or something. That'd be good content.
Do and then lip sync some Motorhead. And you'll get that demographic, people in their 60s.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. So you didn't want to be a fitness influencer, but why don't you post on TikTok anymore?
Man, it's funny. So I still don't want to be a fitness influencer. It's like most of my content.
There wasn't any such thing as a fitness influencer when I was a kid, or if there was, I wasn't aware of what.
No, it didn't exist. The whole concept of an influencer when we were kids. When were you born? What year were you born?
1990. What year were you born?
I was born 91. So we grew up in the same generation.
So I'm actually older than you.
When we were kids, the influencer, what I remember, I'll never forget because I thought it was super smart. I remember watching TV commercials and they would bring in professional athletes. And I was like, oh, that's so smart. I remember as a kid having that conversation with my mom. Like, it's so smart because someone's going to want something just because the professional athlete is saying it. And I remember I said to my mom, I was like, do people believe that the professional athlete actually uses that? And she was like, I don't know. But that was the original influencer. And
I had like the exact opposite reaction. Even when I was 5, I was like, come on, this guy's full of shit. He doesn't actually use this. Like I was 5 and that's what I thought.
and now it's just on social media, anybody can become that. But yeah, so no, I never thought about that. I still don't like it when people think of me that way. I really do my best to not come across that way.
What's your job title?
Personal trainer.
You're not going to give your special executive president of social relation, media, and fitness.
Yeah, it's so funny. I see a lot of people like in the fitness industry.
I'm the creator of this system, or I'm
or even like they'll say things like I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm like, no, you're not. You're a personal trainer. It's like you're a personal trainer who posts on social media. It's like in my mind, an entrepreneur is someone who it's not just one business. Like they make multiple businesses. They love making new business. They love startups.
I thought that was a serial entrepreneur.
It might be, and maybe my definition is wrong, but that's what I'm going with. Like an entrepreneur is someone who loves starting new businesses, not just one business. And I see a lot of like fitness professionals being like, I'm an entrepreneur. And then they put in their bio, like CEO of da, 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 da. I'm like, you run an online coaching business. Like you're not like a CEO of a 100-person company. It's like, all right, relax. You're a personal trainer. That's it. And like, I think a lot of coaches will.
In my defense, I am in the local business owner group in my area.
Oh, there we go. Well, I like that.
I actually am. I was actually in the meeting today.
But I think a lot of people, a lot of coaches, they don't like calling themselves a personal trainer. They think there's a negative connotation with it. And in my mind, I'm like, if there's a negative connotation with calling yourself a personal trainer, that you're perpetuating it by not calling yourself that. And that's why I call myself a personal trainer, because that's what I am. That's what I love to do. And I think when people hear that, sometimes like my ex-girlfriend hated because when she would introduce me to her family, they'd be like, "What do you do?" I'd be like, "I'm a personal trainer." She'd be like, "No, you're not." She'd be like, "No, he runs his own business." I'd be like, "I'm a fucking personal trainer." If you think poorly of someone based on that, that says more about you than it does about the person who's a personal trainer.
See, my answer when people ask me what I do sometimes, I'm just like, I don't know. Here's my TikTok. You figure it out.
Yeah, that's why I stopped posting on TikTok. Man, I'll tell you this. If I was just starting fitness now, like a fitness business now, I'd be all over TikTok. I'd be all over it.
So you don't want to like expand, like take over the entire social media sphere, like own, buy Google.
No, I have no interest in that, bro. It's so funny.
Google Fit.
The more popular my page has gotten, the more I've wanted to be private. Like the more I've wanted to just stop social media, the more I want to like get a house in the woods in the middle of nowhere where no one will recognize me. And just like people have this grandiose idea of what it would be like to have a large page with a large audience. And the more that it happens, the more I'm like, fuck this, I'm out. Like, I don't want it anymore.
What's so bad about it?
Listen, I'll say this. It's net positive. The pros are better than the cons. And I'm very blessed and incredibly fortunate and very lucky. And I love what I do. But it can be incredibly scary and invasive to have so many eyes on you all the time, to have threads written about you, people who've never met you, know nothing about you, starting Reddit threads about you, or different like website threads where they just talk trash about you. And
you don't find that funny? I would read that shit just for entertainment. Like, I'd be like,
dude, I would think it's funny if I didn't. I would think it's funny if I knew like people weren't crazy enough to try and find my address and like and hunt me down. I was just told the other day that the gym that I go to, there's been someone who comes in every day and is demanding to know if I'm there or not. And the people behind the front desk are like, we can't tell you that. There's just some crazy fucking people out there. And so
I can see why Juji Mufu built his own gym that's like 800,000 square feet or whatever
yes,
the fuck it is.
That's exactly. It's one of the reasons why I have 3 different gym memberships, so I can go around to different places and not make like a consistent schedule.
Oh, I just had that because I had to train people at 3 different places just to make enough money to survive.
Yeah. I feel you, man. I mean, you're grinding, bro. Like you're working super hard. It's really amazing to see.
So hold up. So, but I always had this kind of like idea that I was like, if I got like really blew up, I would want to like I said, I'd be like, why can't we have like actual like helpful evidence-based fitness stuff like out there? Like if you look at the large, like you have a pretty big following on social media, and even if you look at like, there's people who just like post selfies of their ass and stuff who have like 20 times the following of you, and they're considered in the same sphere of fitness, right? I'm like, I would really want to like try and expand the sphere of like evidence-based fitness. I would be like, I got to hire more coaches. I got to like bring in people who know what they're talking about. I got to give more visibility to people who are like good, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of like, to me, I'm like, that's one of the things that I have like in my distant view of like where I would like the industry or myself to go in general, if it was possible, right? You don't see anything in that?
Dude, I love that. And it's like,
because like you go online, you search up like, a lot of workout stuff. And I do think, granted, I think it's gotten a lot better than it was like 10 years ago.
Oh, way better. Way
but
better.
Like, yeah. You still look at like the lion's share of the market is still crap. It's like fit teas and like detox. Like the average person is not getting like, Mike Israetel's page when they search for fitness stuff.
Correct. That's 100% right. And I'll say 5-7 years ago, I think the way you're thinking now is exactly what I said then. I want to be the biggest. I want to reach everyone in the world. I want to be like on all these mainstream shows so I can reach all the people who need it rather than seeing this nonsense. I wanted to hire tons of coaches. I wanted to make my own certification, like all this stuff. And I wouldn't say,
let's not go that far.
I wouldn't say all of that is off the table forever, but I would say, we go through different seasons in our life, and things change as you grow, and as maybe you achieve a certain goal and then you realize like it wasn't exactly as you thought it would be. Now, I don't want to hire more coaches. Like I like to keep things small. I like to keep things small, help it. I mean, here's the way I look at it. One of my stories on a daily basis will usually at least get 100,000 views, like helping 100,000 people at least a day, just for one of my stories. I think that's a good win. I think that's like a good win for me there. In the same way that we tell our clients not to chase a number on the scale, I think it's important not to chase a number in social media, like just to get more followers for the sake of getting more followers, or just to get more views for the sake of getting more views. Even if what you're doing is helping them and it's great, I think nothing happens in isolation. Nothing just happens in a vacuum. And if along the approach, along the journey of trying to get more and more people to help more people, things will change within you. And that's what I noticed in myself. I noticed myself getting too focused on the follower count, too focused on the views, too focused on the likes. And I was like, listen, I've done great. And I need to, like, for my own mental health and my own sanity, I need to just take a minute, not focus so much on growing for the sake of growing, not focus on taking over the internet and taking over all of social media, and focus on myself. Because I think that way I'll actually be able to help people better than if I'm just always focused on growing and chasing that number.